Welcome back folks, my name is LastKnownMeal and welcome back to Stalker 2. So today we have a patch day because patch 101 is live. So we're gonna be going through all of the patch notes, we're gonna be looking at biggest changes and updates because after testing it there is a lot of good here. Now of course I don't expect everything to be fixed in one update, and of course some of the things which are very important like a life will be handled a lot more in the upcoming updates rather than this one. So this is what we can learn from the patch notes. Attention stalkers, thanks for your passion and support since the release. It is really important to us. The patch 101 is live both on PC and Xbox. On GOG it was 10 GB for me. Now this is our first fix patch that addresses over 650 different bugs and issues. Here is the list of the major updates of the game. When it comes to AI fixes, they fix groups of NPCs getting stuck and dying near shelter during active emission. They fixed an issue where a builder could drop any mission items out of the player's hands, and this was actually very problematic because if you lose that certain items or they kinda glitch out, you cannot continue with those missions later on. And they added the missing sound effect for the builder's telekinesis ability, which is nice. I was wondering where it was, or maybe it was a design choice, but it seems they just added it. They fixed issues with NPCs occasionally getting stuck and not reaching the mission location. This might have caused an ability to interact with NPC or progress through the next mission stage due to idle behavior of the mission NPC. It actually happened to me 2 times, especially once you continue on with the main story, so I'm glad this is getting addressed. They fixed issues with performance drops and potential out-of-memory crashes in hubs and locations crowded with NPCs during long play sessions. To be honest, I tested this in one of the, major locations, like for example s.t.a.l.k.e.r and the first town in the game, and the frame rate is a bit better, but of course this is also not something which can be fixed with one update. But it is better, especially after playing for 2 hours. I noticed that my frame rate kinda stayed similar to when I got into a game, so there are definitely improvements on this front. Fixed issues when NPCs could not track whether a target in cover was covered from shots, which caused them to shoot into cover. I mean, this is happening especially if you are in a building and the windows are boarded up. You will still see people kind of shooting through it and trying to get you. And other more than 20 different issues with AI. This is not listed, but I'm assuming modders are going to investigate and look at these changes more in the game itself, or well, game files. When it comes to optimization fixes, they fixed issues with invisible NPC, mutants appearing in FOV while player is scoping. This is kinda related also to A-Life, because right now everything is kinda spawning near you and don't load up in the background like it was in previous Stalker games. And they fixed fire visual effects that were not rendering at certain camera angles. Also, we fixed approximately 100 different crashes, including potential memory leaks and exception access violation issues. This is good. So throughout testing this patch, I haven't had a single crash personally, but also keep in mind I was lucky only to have one crash happen to me last night, but that was on the previous patch, or well, the previous version of the game. When it comes to audio and sound fixes, they fixed issue when combat music was still playing while combat was finished, and 7 other mini audio and sound bugs. When it comes to balance adjustments, this is great because there is a lot of good stuff here. First off, weapons and armor repair cost is decreased, and yes, if you go now and you look at the repairs, they're a lot better. Of course, they're still going to cost you, but at the same time it's not as terrible as it was before. Now, they significantly increased cost of artifacts, more revenue from selling, and yes, if you look right now, I can make some decent money doing this. So if you want to make money in Stalker 2, the best thing you can do is just go and hunt artifacts. They are going to respawn after a few days, so do an artifact run and you're gonna be rolling in money. Also, money reward for most missions is increased 2 to 3 times. This is good. I mean, rip to all of the people who kinda went through the story and don't have a lot of missions left. but for everyone who hasn't, well, you're gonna be making more credits now. And rookie difficulty armor and weapons got buffs, so this is good. Damage from mutants is moderately increased on rookie difficulty, more mutant health balance changes in the combat balance below, which is also amazing, but we'll get to it. Now, damage to player's weapon is decreased by 23% on rookie difficulty. Armor durability is increased by 12.5% for all difficulties, so your armor is not going to, well, deplete its durability too fast, resulting in you spending a lot of money to repair it. Now also they added silencer attachments for PTM to specific stash on lesser zones, so that's cool. And they fixed the sell prices of exoskeletons. They are now a lot more expensive to sell, which would make every single sense. And they fixed sell prices of upgraded weapons. Now they also rebalanced Hercules consumable, player speed debuff is removed, and they increased the effects parameters, so basically now more weight could be carried by player after consuming. And some additional minor bug fixes. Also great stuff in the combat balance. They reduced some mission items weight, including weight of scanners. Great, because now people can actually have a scanner and still carry anything else. Now they also slightly rebalanced Bloodsucker's damage. I noticed that actually they're kinda easier now in some cases and they don't take full HP when they do that attack. And they also decreased Bloodsucker's strike protection rank, so this means more damage from guns, which means you're gonna be taking them out a lot faster. And they reduced the Bloodsucker's HP regeneration outside of combat, so that's not going to be terrible anymore. Controller HP is moderately reduced, nice. They reduced the Burer HP also moderately. Boar HP is moderately reduced and the Flesh HP is moderately reduced, which means that now those mutants are going to be, well, easier to kill, which is kinda normal because right now, especially on the highest difficulty, they were extremely spongy. Damage to boar from headshots changed to 100% of body damage, that's nice. Damage to boar from shots to the limbs is increased, which is good. And the damage to flesh from shots to the limbs is increased, so again, you're gonna be taking them out a lot faster even if you don't shoot them necessarily in the head. Now they significantly increased weapon melee distance, very nice, because before you had to be really close for it to do anything, and they slightly increased the knife melee distance. When it comes to the gamepad input, even though it was said they're gonna be fixing the dead zones in the later updates, in this one they increased gamepad dead zone, so technically it should be better. Of course, I don't play STALKER with a controller, so you can tell me down below in the comments if it actually is better for you. When it comes to characters, they fixed eyes and teeth on NPC models and some minor fixes of NPC models and animations. For cutscenes, they added missing footage to TV displays in the final cutscenes, and they fixed issue with deer animation in the opening cutscene. And 20 other different bugs in cutscenes were fixed, but we don't have details on them. When it comes to game settings and menus, they adjusted unreadable text at the bottom of the shader compilation screen. They fixed the issue with NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency option not being saved on subsequent boots of the game, and 10 more minor issues. When it comes to interactable objects, they fixed physics issues with destructible and movable objects, including those floating in the air, that's nice. They fixed interaction prompt with glass doors in s.t.a.l.k.e.r, which caused a walkthrough blocker, so now you can finally go through it. And they fixed missing inner doors in the X11 laboratory elevator and some other more minor bugs. Now I'm going to cover the fixes of main and side missions, which means spoilers, so if you want to avoid this and you don't want to be spoiled at all, I would recommend actually skipping this part of the video. They resolved numerous mission blockers and bugs encountered under specific conditions. Key fixes include fixed missing interaction with dead blind dogs in Nightingale Hunt mission. They fixed uncompletable objectives in the Seek and You Shall Find mission. They fixed multiple issues in There and Back Again mission, including one where the artifact couldn't be found. This is good, I had this problem. They resolved dialogue loop with Zotov during a needle in the haystack mission. They fixed progression blockers in the answers come at a price, including issues with bandits after an emission and missing heavy key item, also a problem which I had in my own playthrough. So in case you were waiting to go through an actual mission, you can start doing it, but at the same time I would also do a hard save before any important decision, because you never know if some new problems or old lingering ones are going to appear. And also they say here they fixed approximately 120 other issues not listed here within the main quest line, side missions and encounters. When it comes to open world experience, they fixed stretched or missing limbs on humanoid corpses. They fixed missing fast travel routes, including 2 concrete plan from Toadstool. They resolved issues with loudspeakers, fast travel and NPC interactions in various locations, such as the scientist's bunker and chemical plant. Adjusted hostile NPC behavior during the arena missions, including bandits' tactics and increased ammo for the tyrant fight. Now, to be honest, also I have been waiting for a very long time to progress through the arena mission, because doesn't matter how much time has passed, maybe I'm just locked behind the main quest or something similar to it, but the next fight doesn't want to load in for me, or well, the quest doesn't want to progress. They also corrected mission progression in the Black Sheep and the Key to Freedom missions, and approximately 50 other issues were fixed. When it comes to player guidance, gear and weapons, fixed a bug that allows to sell items to traders for more money than they actually cost, so the actual bug that people were using is now fixed. Now, they fixed input blocking issues with the PDA, inventory and attachments when interacting with artifacts. They corrected flashlight behavior after saving and loading. They resolved issues with grenade type selection, compass marker overlaps and missing mission markers. They also fixed inconsistencies with the weapons and armor upgrade effects, including pricing and upgrade reversals. Now, also they improved the hood behavior and prolonged the duration of point of no return hints during down below mission, which is nice because some people were actually progressing into the end game without realizing it properly and they just kind of skipped through it. Now, they also fixed a bug where player could sell mission items using Gamepad. That's wild, I didn't even know about that one. And approximately 50 minor anomalies. When it comes to voiceover and facial animations, they restored missing facial animations for Sava in the Hot on the Trail mission and Mugwort in the Internal Shining mission. They fixed missing voice lines during the Let No One Leave Unsatisfied mission, and they corrected radio call effects so NPC voices properly reflect distance during communication. And a couple of more things were fixed, which were not listed here. Now for the end we have world fixes. They fixed flickering textures in various locations, including the sphere, military base and chemical plant. They resolved movement issues, including getting stuck in certain locations during missions like Once More Onto the Breach and A Tough Awakening. They corrected artifact spawn points in some areas, so this is good. Maybe that's why after a mission some of those artifacts were not spawning, and there was even one location where it doesn't matter how close I was to an artifact, it simply would not spawn. They also fixed NPC behavior during encounters, which is nice. They're not gonna be either standing or spinning around or just walking in circles. Now they're actually going to have proper pathing. And also they adjusted voice volume during storm weather for improved audio balance, because, well, the storm weather sound was a bit too much actually, especially when the lightning hits. And they also fixed approximately 50 more bugs. Now for the end they said this: the work on the game and future patches continues. We are working on fixing the A-Life bugs, which will be addressed in future patches. Please continue to share your feedback and opinions on forums and social media. Of course, I will leave you a link so you can report a bug if you find it to them, and it can be fixed later on. So this is it, yeah, patch 101 is out and a lot of good stuff has been addressed. In my opinion, one of the most important ones is just rebalancing the game a bit when it comes to how much credits you make and how much you can sell it for. And in the other way, you're now finally gonna be able to destroy mutants much easier than you were before, because, well, they have a bit less HP than before, because it wouldn't make sense. Like, let's say you're attacked by 3 boars and then you fight them. They were tanking so much ammo that you kinda just got taxed immediately. And then finding more of that ammo, or maybe even buying it in some cases, would just, you know, take a lot of money, and then when you count in the rewards and what you were making from selling artifacts, for example, it wasn't enough. So now you can actually go and have a proper like artifact hunt and kinda make money, especially if you have better gear. And because repairs, you know, the prices were reduced and now your armor is going to deplete a lot slower, this will mean that you're gonna be able to have more money in the first place to buy everything else. I'm also happy with the stability improvements. It's not great, of course, it still has, you know, pockets where the frame rate drops down, but those things will be, you know, fixed with later patches. It is good that they want to continue to update this game and also add a lot of stuff which has been, I think, cut from the game, like for example mutant skinning. In the previous STALKER game, that's one of the ways you were making money. So now, if you are able to skin those mutants and get those parts, and I believe the files for that were already, or at least some parts of that system were already in the game, but just, you know, disabled, that would be good, because that would also mean you're gonna be making some credits even after wasting ammo to shoot that mutant, because right now that's a bit sketchy, especially prior to this update when they were tanking a lot of that damage. Of course, A-Life remains one of the priorities for them, and I'm glad, because that's one of the things which makes STALKER, well, STALKER. So once that is fully out and enabled in like the all senses, it's going to be great. Now, the original architect of the system is employed in the company, so if the person who was one of the inventors of A-Life is still at the company, this is good, because, well, you know, they're actively working on it to make it what it was and to just add more stuff which was present in previous games, or to just basically enable it, because these bugs are causing these issues now which don't really give away the atmosphere of STALKER in some areas. Like, you don't see like mutants running in the background when you enter a zone. It's pretty much all going to be kinda reserved to spawn closer to you. But of course, I will report on everything else that they talk about and all of the other future fixes and changes and everything, but this is a solid patch. So if you want to stay updated with everything STALKER 2 related, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button for more, and also join us on Twitter and Discord. Huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters, and for the time being, get out of here, STALKER.